Is this the calm before the storm for Bitcoin? Well, if you look at things from a technical analytical standpoint, you can only remain in these kinds of ranges for so long until what happens is you have change. And that change would be an increase in volatility because right now we're not really seeing much of that action going on. We are getting ready to go into the midterm elections. I've talked about this a little bit in my previous videos, but we have an article here from Cointelegraph which actually highlights from a variety of Bitcoin analysts and the different perspective views on what we could kind of expect leading in to the near future. I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Everything I'm sharing is my own opinion. It's my own research. I highly encourage you guys to go do your own research. And with that being said, let's go ahead and dive on into this. So here we go. Bitcoin analysts and traders say Bitcoin's low volatility is a calm before the storm. Stock markets slide toward yearly lows while Bitcoin price remains range bound. Here's why crypto analysts expect a sharp move from Bitcoin soon. If you were to hang around crypto traders this week, you would hear three phrases repeatedly muttered: volatility, bond prices, and the potential of a sharp move in Bitcoin price. Multiple analysts have placed emphasis on Bitcoin's range-bound price action, leading some to question whether this is a sign of a market bottom or even a decoupling from equities markets. In its latest The Week on Chain newsletter titled A Calm Before the Storm, Glassnode analysts said, recent weeks have seen an uncharacteristically low degree of volatility in Bitcoin prices, in stark contrast to equity, credit, and forex markets, where central bank rate hikes, inflation, and a strong US dollar continue to wreak havoc. Research outlet Delphi Digital also chimed in on the subject, pinpointing that the Bollinger Band width percentile, or BBWP metric, as proof that there could be, quote, a big move brewing for Bitcoin. According to Delphi Digital, historically, BBWP readings above 90 or below 5 have marked major swing points. The BBWP has yet to dip under 5, but the researchers noted that for Bitcoin, since Q2 of 2017, BBWP readings above 90 or below 5 have previously led to an upside of 204% or a downside of minus 51% on average. While it's too early to conclude that Bitcoin has broken its correlation with equities markets or even reached a market bottom, historical data suggests that long bouts of sideways price action have marked accumulation and distribution phases. Glassnode's accumulation trend score, a metric that reflects the aggregated balance change intensity of active investors over the past 30 days, is currently in a neutral zone, which denotes a state of equilibrium in Bitcoin's accumulation structure. The report details how from 2018 to 2019, entities with 1,000 Bitcoin to 10,000 Bitcoin tended to distribute their tokens as the bull market quickened its pace, whereas retail investors less than 1 Bitcoin increased their Bitcoin allocation. Similar investor behavior can be observed in 2022, when entities with more than 10,000 Bitcoin sold into the bear market rally to $24,500 before switching into an accumulation mode at the next price low. As shown in the chart below, larger balance Bitcoin holders greater than 10,000 Bitcoin are now neutral, whereas the 1,000 to 10,000 Bitcoin cohort is accumulating. Meanwhile, retail investors show varying degrees of equilibrium and selling. Where's the volatility? Bitcoin price has been trading in the 18,500 to 24,500 range for the past 120 days. And as mentioned by Cointelegraph on October 11th, multiple factors could be responsible for the lack of fireworks. A number of important economic events are set to take place in the next 2 weeks, and these could be contributing to traders' desire to sit on their hands and watch from the sidelines. The following events are set to occur in October. So October 12th, Federal Open Market Committee minutes. Then we also had the Consumer Price Index report. We have the Q3 earnings session beginning on October 17th. October 28th, Personal Consumer Expenditures, or PCE price index. Aside from a slight rebound in the Dow and S&P 500, equities markets continue to trend down. And an uptick in the conflict between Russia and Ukraine, plus the strength of the United States dollar, could also be contributing to investors' aversion to risk assets. By analyzing coin distribution across long-term and short-term holders, Glassnode concluded that sellers are likely exhausted and that more than 31% of the coins held by long-term holders are being held at a loss. compared with previous market conditions, the researchers noted that the market has been in this phase for 1.5 months, with a previous cycle duration ranging from 6 to 10 months. While it's impossible to predict which direction Bitcoin price will take once volatility spikes, studying on-chain data to decipher the actions of market participants in near-identical market conditions could assist investors in deciding what to do once the price does start moving. So very interesting based article here. Again, I want to stress this to you guys. As far as for upcoming dates to keep an eye on would be October 17th and October 28th. And then also, it's not being mentioned here, but the midterm elections, which is in the early part of November. I think it's November 8th, I want to say. So that will help decide the House and the Senate for whether it's going to be dominated by Republicans or Democrats, or potentially being split one way or another, and then the policies that they use to help motivate these things leading forward. Now, please keep in mind that when you look at things like inflation, that's the Federal Reserve taking that action. When you look at things that's happening in the stock market, the SEC, the Security Exchange Commission, they're the ones that make a lot of the decisions on these different actions that are being taken against this market maker, that hedge fund, etc. And we are seeing that the hedge funds and the market makers, they're the ones predominantly who have the most hands in that pot. They're the ones that have the biggest access to making the moves, the substantial impacts that comes across, right? They're the ones that have the biggest sets of money. Where are their stances? Is there anything here during a very volatile political time frame that suggests that these actions that we're seeing could potentially be politically motivated to try and sway voters into voting one direction or another? I've talked a little bit about this in my previous videos. I don't want to get too political for you guys, but if you get an opportunity, look behind the scenes. Look at who Ken Griffin from Citadel, right? Who does he support? What side does he favor? Is Ken Griffin, from a retail investor standpoint, considered to be the good guy or the bad guy? What does that kind of say about the other side? So look into those things. Make your own decisions in the end. Again, this is not financial advice, but there's a lot of things to take into account here, guys. I really hope you understand that. It's not just a simple, well, if this one thing happens, right? If this one thing happens, everyone will make the same decision. Everyone's going to sell if this one thing happens. That's unrealistic. There's multiple factors that come into play here to take into consideration, and it's not an easy answer. And even with these traders coming in through here, these analysts, right? It still looks like it could go either way. It still looks like it could go up or it could go down, which is not a great thing to hear. But there's multiple things that we have to weigh, especially within the next 30 days. Let us know what you guys think about this down in the comments below. Thank you so much to my Patreon supporters. Double shout out thank you to WeLoveSafeMoon.com, Murad Shaker, Victor Vegas, SafeMoon Oz for being higher level patrons. Thank you to my YouTube members for your support as well. And if you guys are new to the channel, clicked on the wrong thing there. If you guys are new to the channel, don't forget to hit subscribe, hit the thumbs up like button. God bless, and we will see you in the next episode.